All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. This is your week of March 30th. March 30th and the following 7 days. And there it is. Saturn, Pluto, Venus, all at the top. But that's not all. We've got Ceres, Ceres, and the south nodes are a thing. We have a full moon this week. So there is a separate video for that already done, already up. If you didn't catch it, go catch it for the details. But I will make a quick mention to it here. We're going to talk about Jupiter and a little bit of karma on the way, of course. Well, already here. So with all that said, we start off on March 30th. This Monday, we have Venus right there at 0 degrees in Taurus. And we mentioned this in last week's video that this was going to be a thing, because over there in Aquarius, another fixed sign at 0 degrees is partnerships. It's Juno energy. Juno had spent quite a bit of time in Capricorn, partnerships, and it was professional partnerships, government partnerships, long-standing, long-term partnerships. Capricorn, what are my material, tangible goals? What am I building? What am I building towards and for? That's Capricorn. Think corporations, ruling the roost, ruling the government, right? And partnerships. And then Juno left Cappy and it entered Aquarius, which screams new, different, disruptive, exciting, never been done before. Aquarius energy is technology and energy storage. It is major systems, global systems. It's the big picture of how all that connects. It's the logistics, it's the supply chain, it's airlines, anything that man created, and it's the innovator. It thinks outside of the circle, outside of the box. It is unconventional. It's the trendsetter. It says, I dance to my own tune. I am original and I am the inventor. So it's partnerships, partnering up in ways that is different, new, and unconventional. And so this speaks of partnerships, but also energy in general, alternative forms of energy. Pluto there, power, right? So the nuclear powers, whoever has nuclear capacity, but we know some of the things that are going on and some of the things, kind of the shit starter that United States has become. Dabbling here, dabbling there, starting shit over this, over that. These two are going to be important this week. They're going to be important because the partnerships are coming together. These disruptive partnerships, but partnerships of immense power. Following the money has typically been able to show us, aha, look what someone had to gain. And that's, the root of all evil type of thing, money and greed. Yeah, that's, and power and control. You can probably, you can take that to the bank even. So that's where we begin this week with Venus squaring partnerships. This would be friends. It's group energy. So yes, your online friends, your online streaming capabilities. If people are having technology disruptions, even your creature comforts, and oh boy, electricity and the internet has become an integral piece of our creature comforts. Ceres is right next to Venus, and Ceres is being squared and squaring Pluto energy. Pluto squaring Ceres. So our creature comforts have already been squared. So whether that's planes, trains, automobiles, however it's getting to you and to your door is going to touch your pocketbook. And that would definitely be Venus being squared by Juno and by Pluto. It is also intense partnerships. Venus is love, it is money, it is desires. So these are people that aren't just, like just friends or fake friends or internet friends, but this is also people that there in some way is a deep bond. There is some undercurrent energy, whether it's we have history on a soulful level of we're connected, but it doesn't always mean that we have the best of a relationship. There's always going to be this underlying thing there with bonded energy. And that kind of energy can go many different directions. When it's favorable, it can be favorable. And when it's not favorable, oh shit, it can be quite uncomfortable. Intense desires, intense love, intense values. It could be connections over money as well and income, you see, with people that are close to us or people that in some way we are linked and we are bonded to. So that is this entire week that we have that energy to look forward to. And it's growing. It grows in intensity by the end of the week. We're going to go right to the full moon. We have a full moon on April 1st. Full moons are endings, a time of closure, time of completion. It is a full moon in Libra, and it is at 12 degrees of Libra. 12 degrees Libra. So it is partnerships. So this can be difficult when we think of personal relationships, considering the backstory I just showed you. The bonded energy, personal relationships, love relationships, friendship relationships, online and in the real world, both, right? And then also the fact that there's a closure and an ending within Libra, the bridge, the compatibility, the equality, the fairness, the justice, the judicial system, even. So there's a little bit of stress and tension and an ending and a closure in partnerships. And I feel as though there's some soul energy involved because it's at the 12-degree mark. Okay. So soulful things ending and closing out, personal and professional. You want more details? Go check out the video for the full moon. Jupiter makes a move this week. Jupiter is on the 3rd, going to go to 16 degrees. This is big, guys. It's big because Jupiter has been at the 15 degrees for quite a bit of time. This is where the Jupiter retrograde ended and it went direct. That was news and information and my mind. With Jupiter in Cancer, it affected the public, female, feminine energy, childhood, how we feel nurtured, how we feel safe and secure. Jupiter can give us some confidence. Jupiter connects us with our emotional intelligence of the past, of the present, and of the future, of connecting those dots, but being emotionally confident about the next correct steps and how to move forward emotionally. So it might take some catching up, connecting the mind and the emotions together. But here, the Jupiter energy is moved to 16 degrees. So this is more emotional energy. 16 is moon energy. This is feelings, family, childhood. This is more Cancer energy. So we think of the public as well, and homes, houses, property. We think of emotions. We think of stability. We think of women. And we think of all this Epstein, horrific, disgusting, pedophile, male dominant, oh well, same old, get used to it. You thought this was the subculture. No, this is the culture, baby ladies. This is it. And it's like, wait a minute, we don't have to accept this. So however that looks in your world, wherever you are, and your beliefs around submission and religion and how all that makes sense for you in your life. And are you going to be brave enough to protect your daughters, your neighbors' daughters, your cousins' daughters? Are you going to stand up? Are women going to have each other's backs and not allow this sick behavior to exist any longer? Now, with that said, that is justice. That is the judicial system as well. Courtrooms and lawyers. I'm hoping that that energy comes where we're seeing things happening legally. But what about the South Node? We have the South Node over there in Virgo, still at 8 degrees, still at 847, the South Node in Virgo. Domestic energy. As Venus and Sirius move up in numbers this week, they will both sit at 8 degrees by the weekend, together at 8 degrees, Saturday and Sunday, and going into Monday. This is the degree of trauma, of tragic shit, of stuff from the past, my vulnerabilities. This is also oil and rare earth minerals and things we have to drill and dig and mine for. It's also that. But it's a nice trine. It's a beautiful trine, money and values and relationships to that south node at 8 in Virgo. Okay. So when Venus gets a south node to that energy, it can provide support. We can, oh, I don't know, maybe get a gift. Maybe some money comes our way. Maybe it comes by the way of the judicial system where we're seeing movement for the traumas and the abuses of the past, the abuse of those in power, 8 degrees from the past, domestic energy, which means it happened in my home. It happened in their home. It happened in a home like environment. It happened when I was working on the job, Virgo energy. Okay. So I'm hopeful in that regard, but also because it's Venus who likes to bring gifts. So there can be a strong connection with feminine energy this week as Venus connects with Sirius and Sirius connecting with feminine energy. Sirius is about how I nurture myself, how I feed myself, how I make myself feel good, how I make myself feel safe and secure. It's very similar to moon energy. Sirius, we can liken to a mother breastfeeding her child. And what does that do for that child? What does that do for the mother who is able to support the child in that way, to provide for the child in that way? It's very powerful. It's that really strong bonded energy. It can be a beneficial time. So you want to check for the 8 degrees in your chart in the earth signs. You're looking between 6 and 8 degrees for some beneficial energy coming in for you. This is the feel of almost a magnetic pull back towards the earth. Sirius, as the archetype of the great mother, teaches about nurturing and nourishment and the cycles of growth and renewal. In Taurus, it's a sign that's deeply rooted in the material world. We think of food, we think of sensuality, we think of things that are practical, we think of creature comforts, we think of a walk in the grass barefoot or simply sitting quietly under a tree. We think of spending time outdoors or longing to even touch the soil. This is strong farming energy. We also think of literally just the breath of the wind as we sit on the land. And we think of the connection that our body provides, the connection of how our physical body provides a connection between what is above us in the heavens and what is below our feet. As our body, it is the mediator. It is the connection between the heaven and the land. So with the Sirius in Taurus, it is very tangible ways where we can care for the planet and for ourselves. It's not just about the abstract love for the earth. It is about the small everyday choices that we make to show respect and gratitude for the planet, for the animals, for food, for ourselves, for our body, choosing food that's grown sustainably, tending a garden, reducing waste, simply appreciating the beauty of the natural landscape becomes a form of a sacred ritual for us. We can likely feel how giving back to the earth in these ways nourishes ourselves just as much as it nourishes the earth. It's also a time when our connection to the body feels more interwoven with the cycles of nature. Eating seasonally, moving with the rhythms of the day, and slowing down to truly savor life can be very grounding. Sirius and Taurus reminds us that caring for ourselves and caring for the earth are one and the same. And when you nurture your own physical well-being, you are aligning with the wisdom of the planet. And when you tend to the earth, you're simultaneously tending to your own spirit. Along with farming and nurturing ourselves and the planet and the earth, that yes, banking and finances is also that energy. When we think of how we feel nurtured, how many of us got to go shopping when we're not feeling good, and how we show ourselves love. Ultimately, Venus wants harmony and peace. Well, and some chocolate too. And a glass of wine and a new pair of shoes. And I could go on forever.